up? Today I got something a little special, and if you're kind of confused by this team preview, it's alright. My opponent was too. This is an Ubers match, and my opponent is CJ Bucket. He's got a weird YouTube name that you can't really pronounce. It'll be below, though. I basically set out with the goal to make an RU team that can win in Ubers. And after some team building, I realized that I'm probably going to need a couple UU pokes, and that's what I allowed myself. So this is, for the record, a UU team built for Ubers. No real specific goal. I'm just kind of trying to see if I can actually, like, do it. And I know I can. And this is basically the result. The problem with this team is that it's built for specific overused threats. And he actually has like 3 Pokemon that are very irritating to this, and that's his Arceus, because it's got a weird set, and my team is again built just for the standard threats. He's got a Manaphy, which is kind of annoying to take down because it's bulky that you can't really kill it with one hit, because I don't have like Thunder or anything on this team. But it's still offensive, and it has rest, and I can't like stall it with status and hydration and all that stuff. And the last thing is Giratina, which is probably the least of the 3 because it's just I'd have to stall it basically with Sableye if anything else. But so we're gonna get into the battle, and he's probably gonna lead with his Fortress to get up spikes and stuff. I'm not expecting anything else to lead, so I'm gonna lead with my Zoroark disguised as Sableye. And we're just going to go from there. So, getting into the battle here, as I said, I'm going to lead with a Zoroark. And I'm just going to go for the Flamethrower because, yes, Sableye does have Taunt. But I considered going for the Night Daze just to break the Sturdy as well. But I'm like, he might just want to, like, Gyro Ball, knowing that'll Taunt and try and do something weird with that or something. I really don't know. I'm going to get a crit on the Flamethrower, which is really useless and kind of annoying. But yeah, he's going to go for the Stealth Rocks, that's fine. And I am just going to go now for the Night Daze because nothing on his team takes Night Daze very well. The best thing probably is his Arceus, or perhaps his Kyogre, depending on its set. He's going to go into his Arceus, and I'm like, what? I thought water, but then I'm like, no, water's dark blue. That's got to be ice, right? I'm like, so then he's going to be like ice type, and so I'm like, okay. So I'm going to go into my Special Wall Ludicolo, who I probably shouldn't have gone to. I should have gone to Magneton, because Magneton's more of a Special Wall. Ludicolo is anti-Kyogre, so he needs the rain to get the Swift Swim up. And he's going to go for the Extreme Speed, and I'm like, okay, he's probably special with Extreme Speed just because it's priority. Goes for the Judgment, and that doesn't kill me, but I do get my Leech Seed up, so I'm like, okay, so he's got Extreme Speed, Ice Beam, probably Thunder to abuse the rain, and I don't know, Calm Mind, maybe Recover. I'm not really sure, so I'm going to go to my Magneton, because I know he resists the 2 moves he has, and yeah, that, Judgment does really not a lot, especially with Leech Seed, so I really should have gone into this first. But I knew as soon as I clicked Ludicolo, I'm like, shit, I should have went Magneton. But he has Earthquake, and I'm like, what? Why do you have Earthquake? Ugh, I probably should have went to Flygon to see if he had the Fire Blast or the Flamethrower, because he probably would. This being against Sun and having a hard time, so, although Ice Beam still would hurt more. So, no, that would be weird. But, I don't know, I just was not expecting Earthquake. And, yeah, that happened. So, I'm going to go to my Primate, because he's really the only thing on my team that can outspeed an Arceus. And I'm going to go for the Close Combat. I knew he was going to switch into this, so I sort of wanted to go for the U-turn, but I'm like, if he stays in, I'm screwed. And it's not too big of a deal. If he switches out, meh, whatever. So, I'm going to go to my Sableye. I get burned, which is kind of annoying. Not a big deal, but it's kind of annoying. I'm going to burn him right back as he switches into his Kyogre, who is going to set up the rain, and it's going to make my Ludicolo a lot more viable. Unfortunately, it's already, like, almost dead, so that really sucks. I really should have waited till at least I got the rain up that way to be faster than his Arceus, and, yeah. So, I'm going to sub and see what he wants to do. He is going to go for the Hydro Pump, which leads me to believe he is choiced, because I don't see Life Orb, and there's no lefties, and obviously no Lumberry, and Mystic Water would be weird, or Wise Glass, and there's not really much else that you would want to run. So I'm thinking he's choiced. So now that I know he's locked into Hydro Pump, I'm just going to basically hope for the miss. He hits again. I'm kind of thinking to switch into Ludicolo, but I know that despite it having Grass Knot, it cannot OHKO a Kyogre at all. It only does 55%, something like that. So I know I gotta basically stall it out. So I'm just gonna go to the recover. And thankfully he does miss his Hydro Pump right here. That was very key because now I am alive and at a decent amount of health to where I can just continue setting up subs, waiting for him to miss again, and just go for the cover again. And he's losing PP fairly quickly. But he's going to go into his Zekrom. I really don't know why. That was kind of a bad move because he knows I have Will-O-Wisp. And he knows I have Prankster, so there's really nothing any physical Pokemon can really do to Sableye. Basically at all. Because I can just burn them, and then the attacks are going to be doing not very much. Although it is annoying that I do have my burn, so that was kind of unfortunate that I caught that. Oh well, so I'm just going to basically recover because he's locked into Crunch. And I could have switched to Primeape, but I really didn't want to, and my Magneton is already dead. It would have been great to counter this Zekrom as well. And yeah, but, you know, it's dead as well because of his surprise on his Arceus. So, I'm just going to recover, and he is going to be doing nothing, really. And he's just going to have to switch out. He's going to go back into his Kyogre as I go for the recover. And I figure he's just going to want to continue attacking me. He probably has Surf. And I think my Ludicolo could take a Surf. But I'm not sure if he specs. And even though it's quad resisted in the rain, especially since at the HP I'm at, I don't think I can really take two of them. So I really want to get it in when it's safe. But he's going to go for the Thunder. Really not sure why. I guess he was really predicting me to switch into my Ludicolo to take the Hydro Pump. But yeah, that's not good. So now that he's locked into Thunder, I am going to switch into my Flygon, who takes Electric, Ground, and Fire attacks. That is his role on this team. Just kind of as a filler, he does the job pretty well. Nothing else really wants to take Ground or Fire, except if it's a burned Earthquake on my Sableye, because that only does about 30-40% from any Earthquake, basically. Garchomp, Rayquaza, doesn't really matter. As long as they don't have too many boosts, I can take their physical moves all day. But it turns out that I'm actually faster, and I am just going to kill him. I was not sure if I would be, but you know what? Didn't really matter. He's actually Specs. So it's a really good thing that I didn't switch into my Ludicolo, because Specs would have hurt a lot. And yes, I could have Grass Knotted him, but again, I wouldn't have killed. So I'm just going to stay and go for the Outrage, try to do as much damage as possible. While he goes for the Ice Beam, I am now going to go for the Leech Seed. He's going to hit me with another Ice Beam, and I'm thinking because he doesn't have Life Orb, that's not going to do too much, but it does bring me down pretty low. And that's really not good. I don't know what item this has either. I mean, again, unless it has like Wise Glasses, but it's like that doesn't make sense. And you know, Mystic Water doesn't make sense either. He doesn't have Life Orb, and he wouldn't need Lumberry or anything like that. So I really don't know what he has. But I'm going to go for the Grass Knot. If I had gone for the Scald, which I kind of wanted to because Manaphy is really light and Scald gets the rain boost and everything, and it still would have done probably about the same amount of damage. Maybe a little less, but it would have helped here to get the Leech Seed off, but he's going to kill me with a Judgment. Now he's going to go for the Extreme Speed while I go for the Outrage because I do not want him to switch into his Giratina. But I really should have just went for the Close Combat because last time he switched, and obviously I'd be predicting that, and maybe go for the Ice Punch or something like that. Another thing too is if I had to use the Scald, it would have done probably a bit more damage, enough where he would have died here from the Outrage and not been able to get up a second Extreme Speed on me. And that would have been great because he can basically take out a large chunk of his team, except this Zekrom. He's going to come in. I figured to stay in, and thankfully I do break through the confusion, which was really nice because I'm actually getting quite good luck on these hacks. I mean, I lived just barely that Ice Beam before, and I didn't get confused here. And it's working out pretty well. But again, I mean, I do have a fairly decent handicap in that I'm not even using O-use. So I send in my Sableye. I'm going to go for the Recover because I figure Bolt Strike won't do too much. What I should have done is gone into my Zekrom and went for the Sucker Punch because that would have killed him before he had a chance to hit me. And that would have been great. Actually, that would have probably been a much smarter option. Kind of, sort of. The problem is that Sableye cannot do anything to Manaphy, and I'm really doubting that Zoroark has absolutely any chance of coming anywhere close to OHKOing Giratina, and it really doesn't because he has, almost always has max HP. But if he was an offensive set, maybe, but that would be stupid. So he's, I'm kind of screwed. And this is why Manaphy is annoying, because basically my only thing I have to deal with it is like Toxic or Will-O-Wisp, and none of them really hurt it. I do have Discharge on my Magneton, but he can't really be taking rain-boosted Surfs. So Ludicolo is there for that, but again, like I said, that Arceus threw me for a loop, and it really cost me a lot of my core that I really needed. He's going to switch into his Giratina because it is max HP, max special defense, and there is literally zero chance that I can 2-hit KO it because even if I do 51%, which is around the max, both times, he still has leftovers. But I am going to get a key crit, which is nice because I started the battle with one with Zoroark, and I'm going to end the battle with one with Zoroark. He said he was going to Thunder Wave me, and then I hit him again, he Thunder Wave me, and then I could Sucker Punch if he tried to attack, which he probably would. And then this Manaphy would get Sucker Punch as well, but then again he could win for the rest. I don't know, it would have been weird, but that's the battle. It kind of feels weird to end because of that Hax. I most likely would have lost because, again, if he paralyzes me and he can go for the Hex, it wouldn't have killed me, but I would have been running low on health from Life Orb. And it just would have not been very nice. But again, like I said, that Arceus really threw me for a loop, and Manaphy is kind of a trouble spot for this team. I'll break down my team, basically. Primate counters Darkrai. Ludicolo counters Kyogre and defensive Groudons, because it's actually faster even in the sun, and Grass Knot is going to do a lot to it. Flygon, as I said, is for the electric, ground, and fire attacks. Magneton takes special dragon type hits all day. Specs Dialga doesn't even do half with the Draco Meteor to it. Sableye is for anything physical, literally anything physical, as well as all extreme speeds because it's immune to them and can get off a taunt, Will-O-Wisp, recover, substitute, all that stuff. And Zoroark is mainly there for Deoxys attack and Deoxys normal as well, and Mewtwo. But yeah, so carefully crafted teams can do well in tiers that they're not meant for. And if he had had a more standard team, again, Manaphy, that weird Arceus, not really used much. Like I said, I was expecting Darkrai and maybe Mewtwo or something, because those are more common. But yeah, so that's the battle. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'm probably going to keep this team around and use it again in a little while, maybe a month or so, just because it's fun to use and show people that, low-tiered Pokemon aren't bad if you pick them properly. So, that's the battle. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow.